This life sure has a sense of humor, a funny way of knocking you to the ground. It hits you hard when you least expect it, and laughs the second that you were down. But in that moment when you feel like you're all alone, it's in that moment. I'll be there, right there to take you home. Let's go out and face the sun. Together we feel. Let's go out and face the sun. Let's go. Some days it's not easy to wake up. It's so hard just to be yourself. The cards can quickly stack up against you, lead you down a road running straight to hell. So don't let heaven slip away from you. Hold yourself up. I'll be your angel to see you through. This love is real. Let's go out and face the sun. This feels so real. Let's go out and face the sun. Let's go out and change the world. Shine brighter than we can imagine. The sun will always rise. Have faith, 'cause it's about to happen. So face the sun. Whoa, face the sun. So don't let heaven slip away from you. Hold yourself up. I'll be your angel to see you through. This love is on fire. 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 This love is real. Let's go out and face the sun. This feels so real. Let's go out and face the sun. Let's go out and change the world. Shine brighter than we can imagine. The sun will always rise. Have faith, 'cause it's about to happen. So face the sun. This love is real. Let's go out and face the sun. This feels so real. Let's go out and face the sun. This love is real. Let's go out and face the sun. This feels so real. Let's go out and face the sun. Life ain't always gonna be easy, but it's your destiny. You ain't promised one more breath in this world. Make it happen. Time is wasted. Show love. Quit complaining. We got one life to live, so go live it.
All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this amazing, transformative, chaotic, crazy, uncertain planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live here on the Intuitive Prospector page. I hope you're having a great Friday, TGIF, right? Maybe you've had a long week. Maybe you just need to come here in this community to just connect, to unwind, to take a nice deep breath. and just, move into celebrating life, as I like to say. Live, laugh, love. In fact, it's right up here as a reminder of things that I need to do on my daily journey, because all we have is today, the present moment. And so I am your host, Marc Lainhart, the intuitive prospector. I'm always in search of life's mysteries, whether it be metaphysical, whether it be uh, meditations, mediumship, psychic, spiritualism, intuition, ancient traditions, the power of breath, Bigfoot, aliens. I love this shirt. Get in, loser, right? Because there's a lot that's happening in our world, and that's going to include this that I've long said for a few years now. So we come on here on Friday mornings here in Seattle, Washington. So I'm in the Pacific Northwest. And we come on here to bring people together, community, encouragement, motivations, thinking outside the box, have conversations, offer up different perspectives, have a cup of coffee, have a protein shake, whatever that may be. But this community here is for people with like-mindedness that are, of course, compassionate, kind, caring, because the world definitely needs more of that. So if this is sounding good to you, come on in and join our community. Good morning to my moderators who are monitoring the comments in today's show. We are also now streaming over live at the same time. So if you have not yet made it over to um, the YouTube channel, which is called Soul Adventures, I'm not sure what's going on, but my YouTube channel literally blew up, y'all. I don't know what happened, but we literally the last 2 weeks we were just under 500 subscribers to the channel, which is very humbling to me to have just one person follow my journey, listen to my lectures and banters and the workshops I do. And I had asked if people would subscribe, and this morning, when I went up to upload the newest lecture, which is now streaming over on YouTube, about the podcast I did a few weeks ago, talking about how death is not extinction, death is extension. And talking about, because I've gone through a lot of different journeys with grief and death and dying, and watching loved ones pass over to the other side from many different perspectives, from murder to MS to cancer to suicide to tragic, just wrong place, wrong time, to just living their life out. And the body could not take anymore. The body was done, if you will. So good morning to Jane. Good morning to Emily. Make sure to share out or subscribe to the page if you have not done so already. I do have a few links I'm going to be sharing, including my latest article, which is called The Diamonds of Being Alone. That's my latest article published out through Best American Psychics. If you wanted to join and get on either the YouTube channel, I'll put that link in the comment section, or if you want to visit my website, you can pretty much do everything right here at marclainhart.com. If you want to get my latest book, which is right here, it's called Between World Reflections. It looks like the light's a little, of course, it's gray here in Seattle, right? So it's a little gray today, right? But it's literally called Between World Reflections. And I reflect on this journey of when I started to come into my own intuition and ancient wisdom and knowledge. Nothing new, y'all. It's been around for a long time. It's really about the free will and choice to start tuning in and tapping into your energy, your mind, your thoughts, because everything is energy, right? The thoughts that you're having, the connections that you have both in the material world and what is unseen. And I've become a believer now, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there, because there's a lot of truths that show us through science, through technology, through the microscope, through the telescope, through our satellites, that are showing us that we just don't understand fully. We think we do as humans, right? We're full of, especially the gaslighters and the narcissists out there, and the ego freaks. But we don't know as much as we think we do. And in Plato, I always go back to, I don't know if it was Plato or Confucius, where, somebody that claims to know it all knows nothing at all. And we know just on two concepts, just based on science, based on scientific method, and based on mathematics, that we only know about 4% of the actual scientific world. That means that there's 96% that we still don't know. Or even if we go back through history, as far as some of the farthest writings go back, starting human writings and actually capturing writing and being able to capture that time is about 6,000 years, give or take, depending on who you follow, what research you do. But that means if we go over the course of our history, that's the same thing. That's about 3 to 4% of just written history. That means that there's 96% to 97% to 95%, depending on what you watch, that we just don't know. And so I've long been fascinated with the mysteries, always very intuitive about our world, the material world, right? And that's where the intuitive prospector was created and born, based off my curiosity of the world. And then it became more about revealing the diamond within, because diamonds are created under extreme pressures, and how you work through your transformations, how you work through your traumas, how you work through the difficulties that life has to offer all of us. And you can remain that piece of coal buried deep in the ground, but if you want to reveal your diamond, which is created again under extreme pressures, you reveal that diamond and you help people around you, and then you also continue to explore this world of the many gems that are in our world. And I always, one of the things that I like to remind people is, it's in the comment section of this, is a new day, a new opportunity, a day we have not seen before, to use our intuition to prospect this wonderful world around us. And so it's about prospecting for things that you may be curious about, things that you're questioning. Life is short, y'all. Question everything, right? Are there Bigfoots? Well, history would tell us, a long conspiracy theory would say that there is something going on. Is there extra dimensional beings or ETs? Well, one of the longest conspiracy theory running in mankind is that we're not alone. And I personally know, I didn't talk about it for years, but with my experiences in the U.S. Coast Guard back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I had my own personal experience, and now I'm comfortable talking about that, confirming to me in my personal experiences that there is something more intelligent than us. So there's going to be some interesting things that come out during our Roaring 20s, everything from Antarctica to extra dimensional beings to technology to medicine to science to robotics to AI. This is our Roaring 20s. And if you just follow history, you can learn a lot from history and what it teaches us about today. Because I had said, before, during, and after the pandemic, that we would move into a renaissance of transformation. A renaissance is based on receiving a lot of information and evolving over a short period of time. And when I went back and looked at history, after every global pandemic, society shifted. One example is returning to the office spaces in large cities. People are not returning to office spaces. And, bosses and CEOs are starting to realize that we have moved into a digital transformation, the ability to work from home, the technology that does support that. But that's also, what is that doing to the cities, right? There's no people coming into the city, which impacts the ripple effect of businesses around it, small businesses, mom and pops. That's transformation, right? That is part of the transformation that's taken place after this pandemic, that you have to wonder, if the pandemic wouldn't have happened, would we be transitioning and evolving like we are today? And that, by its definition, is a renaissance. So renaissances come usually after global pandemics. You can track this throughout history. That's what I started to do. I think I did a podcast last year. Hiccups. Last year, the year before, I'd done a podcast about the great renaissance of our Roaring 20s. And that's where I really started talking about our Roaring 20s, because history will look back at this 10-year section of our time and say, wow, there was a lot taking place. Everything from politics to divide to uncertainty to possible another war, possible World War III, possible Civil War. All this stuff we can't control, right? We can only control what is happening to us in our environment. So today I wanted to talk about transformation is tough. Transformation is tough. And the reason I wanted to talk about this morning is we all go through our transformations of life, right? I'm going through a big transformation right now. It's not easy. It's actually quite difficult, and having to work on my own foundations of what I teach my students in my development group of trust, patience, discipline, dedication, the 4 pillars of spiritual development, and to increase, to accept, to surrender, to move into your transformation of what the caterpillar, as it's deliquefying, is saying in his mind, oh my God, this is the end of the world. This is not what I expected, to where the butterfly then it morphs through the cocoon phase into the butterfly, and the butterfly says, holy shit, what a perspective. I have wings. I can fly. I've got a completely different paradigm shift. And that's the definition of transformation. A lot of us have, gone through maybe loss of a loved one, or maybe you've had your own near-death experience. I was just talking to a friend just this morning who I hadn't talked to in a while, and she said that she actually had died, and they brought her back while en route to the hospital in the ambulance. And I said, well, then obviously you have more work to be doing, because death is not the end. Death is not extinction. Death is extension. So if you want to catch that episode, go over to my YouTube channel, Soul Adventures. Look for my name, Marc Lainhart, and Intuitive Prospector, and you'll get there. There's the links. All the links and subscriptions are right here at marclainhart.com. But like I told her, I said, well, then you need to, start having passion and purpose for your plan of life while you're here, because again, you didn't die, and I'm glad that you didn't die. I'm glad that you're still here and healthy, and healthy as can be, one day at a time. But it was just a reminder to carpe diem and do the best with what you have today, right? The present moment. And for me, that just clearly said, well, you have something more to do. If you have not made that transition over to the next journey, the next step on the staircase of life, then that means that you have more work to do, and she has to figure that out. So good morning to Francis. Good morning to Nancy. Hi, Caroline. How are you? New moon in Aquarius. Yes, ma'am. Christina, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. Bernadette, hello. So go ahead and put some comments in, interact with the community. Again, good morning to my team. They're moderating the comments as they stream through, because we don't want anybody coming into our community with negativity, with that spam-like energy, like, hey, come over to my website. So just know, in our community, especially here as the Intuitive Prospector, we don't reach out to give you a reading. We don't reach out to cold call you. You're here because you choose to be here on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and be part of this community, part of this conversation, to where I'll even open up the Zoom room and bring people in live, and you can see me do maybe it's a Q&A, maybe it's a meditation, maybe it's mediumship. It's like a box of chocolates on Fridays, and I enjoy coming on here for connections, for community, for assisting, for inspiring. On my podcast, we have a new podcast coming up. You can see my whole stack of books, because I read about a book a week, just to kind of give you perspective. So one, you can get my book here, or another great read, The Art of Living with Thich Nhat Hanh, which I love this book. The University of Spiritualism, big thick book that I'm reading from, by his name is Harry Boddington from England. Let's see, The Spirit Speaks by Silver Birch, the Silver Birch series. My next guest on this next Wednesday, the Rocking Chair Prophet, Matthew Kelly. We're going to be talking to him on Wednesday live. So if you want to check out that podcast, you can get Inspired Living Radio or Inspired Living Podcast a couple different ways. One, go to your favorite podcasting platform and look for the Inspired Living banner, my ugly mug on it, next to it, talking with the Intuitive Prospector. We stream through all the major platforms now. We are a top inspirational podcast, so thank you for the votes and the feedback and the reviews, because that helps the streaming get up on a list that's very inspirational, from, like I said, Oprah, Steve Harvey, Brene Brown, Michelle Obama, big name people. I'm like, what am I doing in this list? But you can also say, if you have an Alexa, and I always point here because Alexa's just off camera, but I had to change the name to computer, because otherwise she'll come on, and every time I'd say Alexa, she would come on. But you can ask your Alexa to stream. Just say, Alexa, open up Inspired Living Podcast, and it'll play the latest episode, which I believe is Death is Not Extinction, Death is Extension. Or you can, an alternative, I'm getting ready to record new sound bites and new tips for positive living through my Ariel spiritual community. And that is simply just say, Alexa, your Echo Pod, open up positive living, and you get tips on how to interact with today's very crazy, very busy, very disconnected society. And, the concern of, talking of today's message about transformation is tough. What I see coming is not great. I'm not a doom and gloom kind of guy. I don't do forecasts and predictions where it's the end of the world and the apocalypse is here. I don't do that. but I can see that there's going to be a lot of struggles and a lot of transformations and changes as we move forward to what I've long called the great coming together. And it's like, okay, are we going to evolve through our technology? Are we going to grow through the advancements of what we're seeing right now? Think about the internet, less than 30 years old. Think about social media, less than 20 years old. Think about what AI is doing, incorporating now. AI is in the public sphere of influence, robotics, continued technology. The crazy thing, you've maybe seen the Apple Vision. So people are now walking around. There was a guy at an NBA game I was just watching the other day, and he's standing up on the floor. He had front row seats, and he's like interacting with the game, but he's the only one standing. So it's just like we're watching lots of transformations with our technology, with our consciousness, with the human experience, and it's like, okay, where do we go from this? What is going to be the next thing? But I keep in my visions and my meditations, keep talking about the great coming together. And is that based on our invitation to the universe? Is that our awareness of something bigger than ourselves that brings people together and moves us past the low vibration energy of politics and disagreements, and realizing that we have more in common than we do just by sitting down and having a conversation versus something behind a keyboard. So social media is going to be interesting to watch the transformation, some of the legality, some of the administrative stuff that's going to come down the road. And that's what AI is going to do. It's also going to clean up false information and flag it as not censorship, but as this is not true. You're entitled to your opinion as, under not being censored, but you're not entitled to your fact, right? So that's what AI will clean up as well. So I'm excited to see that. But when you're in it, when you're in that cocoon, right? Just like the caterpillar is in the cocoon and it's literally deliquefying itself. It's like literally, imagine deliquefying over the span of this cocoon. And I think sometimes life is our cocoon, right? We're born from the caterpillar. We're born into the physical, incarnate, physical flesh suit, almost like robots, right? I was doing some of my writings that I'm doing. I've got my latest article out, The Diamonds of Being Alone. And it was like, why do we go to sleep? Well, we go to sleep because this is a show. This is a robotic, our soul, our energy, our consciousness is what runs it. But just like everything, if your phone runs for so long, it runs out of juice, it runs out of energy. You have to plug it back in. And when we go to sleep, our brain fires in so many different levels and different ways. Some would argue that going to sleep is a form of death. You die every night, right? Because your consciousness, your energy leaves, and you're not doing anything. Your brain is just all over the place energetically. And then you come back to this physical flesh suit and you wake up. And so some would theorize that when we go to sleep, when we go to dream, when we go to die in our sleep process, that's the reality. And when we come back, this is the dream. This is the matrix, if you will. Now, not everybody's going to see that. Just like in the movie The Matrix, there's a lot of people that are not unplugged and are still plugged in, straight and narrow. And that's okay. That's their perspective. I've just over time, through my transformations, have come to realize that there is more than meets the eye, right? Is that an old, is that G.I. Joe, more than meets the eye? It's a tagline for something. I want to say G.I. Joe or something. Hey, Samantha, good morning. Good morning, Victoria. How are you? Sherry, good morning to you. Who else is on here? Amy, good morning to you. So today we're talking about transformation is tough. It's not easy when you're in it. And I'm going through it right now, y'all. And so I have to apply my own trust, patience, discipline, dedication, breath work, knowing that I can't control certain outcomes. I've been associated with the federal government since the age of 22, right? 22. I enlisted in the U.S. Coast Guard, which is the Department of Transportation at that time, later became Homeland Security, but was a federal agency. And I had done a delayed entry for a year at the age of 22. I delayed my entry into the service for a year so I could finish up my 2-year degree at community college, because I started with community college and then went on to university and then went on to another university for my studies and graduate stuff. And so I've been associated with the federal government for over 23 years, if I do the math right. And that's a long time. And I'm transitioning. I'm getting ready to retire and to move away so I can do more of this, do what I love, helping people, inspiring people, connecting people, working with people through the psychic sciences, through the mediumship, through the meditations, through the intuition, definitely writing more, right? So I'm working on my next book, working on more of connections with workshops and personal readings. So, but that transition, that when you've been doing it for so long, and almost, more of a forced retirement, not a volunteer retirement, if you will. But then it's like, okay, when this process started a few months ago, about 8 months ago, and everything has been in eights for me, right? Because I'm a life path 8. So big things are happening when the number 8 drops, and I'm 8 months into this process. Things that happened last year were on 7, the number 7, the dates, the time. I pay attention to the numerology, and 7 is truth, right? And the message I kept receiving was, you got this memo to do something, but you also got a memo from the spirit world that says you can no longer be who you are truly meant to be if you've got 1 foot in here and 1 foot in there, right? I mean, I've been doing that balance for probably the last 7-8 years now. And so, it's about moving forward in transformation, moving into the next phase of my life, knowing that, yeah, I was once the caterpillar at the age of 22, and through that cocoon, or that diamond, what I like to call the cocoon for me is a diamond, to emerge as the butterfly, because I can't continue to become who I'm truly meant to be. And that's the message I received. And I was like, okay, I got to trust that process. I teach on that. So I've got to follow it as well. Practice what I preach, walk the walk, talk the talk. But it's tough at times when you're in a transformational part of your journey, a transformational part of your life. Um, it can be tough. And so today we're going to go over some things to help you with transformation. Good morning, Misty. How are you? Yes, Amy. Right back at you, my friend. Give you the heart. But we're going to play some music, and then I'm going to give you some tips. Now, I realized last time we did a meditation in the music, and it was conflicting because of my microphone. So I do apologize. Remember, I am a one-man show. I do the producing, I do the hosting, I do the editing, I take the Q&A. I'm also the psychic and the medium. So be patient with me, because there are many moving parts to doing this. It's not as simple and easy as you think it is from a technology standpoint. How's your sound? Are you sharing your screen? Are you sharing your right screen? Are you using stuff that's not copyrighted? The music that I play is all on a list. It's a sound collection that's already been pre-approved by Meta and YouTube. So any music, whether it's on my podcast, on my Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live, um, my YouTube channel, these are all copyright trade. They're not trademarked. They're not copyrighted. They're artists that are sharing their music, and music should be shared. So it's like, turn the music on, turn the world off, right? And so having all these things kind of come together to create this environment, to create this community, can be very challenging at times. And then, of course, having the right intention and energy to show up and to inspire people, to connect people. And so, don't bring your negative shit into here. Don't bring in spam saying, come to my page for a more accurate reading. You'll get banned out. We don't play around with that anymore. If you do get somebody that comes in and they're hitting you up for a reading, or I can give you a healing, hit those 3 ellipsis dots over in the right and report them to Facebook, or report them to my administrative team, and we will make sure to block them and make sure they don't come back. So just don't do it, right? It's a way to keep social media clean. It's a way to keep the platforms positive. That's what I try to do in social media. And I think we're gonna need more of that. But that's part of transformation as well. So coming back to today's topic, transformation is tough. But if it doesn't kill you, it only makes you stronger, right? It's like when you cut yourself, right? You cut your thumb, let's say, boom, ouch, that freaking hurt. It's bleeding. It's finally starting to heal and scab over. And it may be a cut that actually leaves a scar. You can't tell, but in my eyebrows, there's a scar right there, right there. Everything's opposite on the camera. And then there's a scar right here. So I actually got these scars at the same time. And what I'm saying is, scars hurt, but the tissue becomes stronger. Scar tissue actually becomes stronger to handle the environment in which the skin, which is the largest organ in the body, can survive in transformation. So what's funny with my scars, I actually was at a softball game at Franklin Park in Spokane, Washington. I don't remember. My mom could probably tell me, could probably comment if she's on, how old I was. At 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that ballpark, between 5 and 8. And I actually took a fly ball. Somebody popped a fly ball, and it hit me in the eye. And I was on the bleachers, and it literally knocked me back to where I fell. Luckily, I didn't break my neck or get paralyzed, but I fell off the bleachers, and I got a piece of wood stuck in this eyebrow. So this one got cut open. This one got a piece of wood in it. And I remember the pain. I remember that I went to the hospital and they gave me stitches on both eyes. But what they didn't know is that there was a piece of wood from the bleacher that actually I fell and hit the bleacher, and a piece of wood actually went up into my eye. And they actually, when they sewed it up, they sewed the piece of wood in my eye. And so I remember the pain of having it being squeezed out. I'm like, there's something, it hurts. And then they pulled it out, pushed out through the stitches through a piece of wood. So that transformation was hard. That pain was hard, especially as a little kid to experience that. And what it did is then it created scar tissue and it made my skin tougher. And so what doesn't kill you does make you stronger. And even if you're in it right now and you're feeling that transformation, that uncertainty, that's a good time. Depression, self-sabotage, that is a good time to focus on mental health, to take a step back. I always teach on take the time to disconnect so you can make the time to reconnect. And that's, these are things that I'm sharing with you that I've learned along the path of my own transformation. Because if I'm being honest with you, I did not want to do spiritual work. I did not want to do psychic work. I did not want to do mediumship work. I did not want to do podcasts. I didn't want to do healing over a decade ago. But when I experienced trauma, my own near-death experience, the loss of, my brothers, it changed the neuroplasticity of the wiring of the brain, my belief system, right? Things that I was told to believe. Remember, you can't spell belief without lie in it, right? So I had to really kind of unlearn a lot of things that I've been taught and learned along the path of my journey. And that's what transformation should be. You should be constantly changing. You should be constantly evolving and growing. And if you're not, I'm a big believer. Once growth stops, decay begins. And that maybe that's time that death comes in and your journey here is done because you're not willing to grow and to learn and to transform into that butterfly. So good morning, Tara. Good morning, Claudio. Good morning to Karen. Misty says, hi, I'm joining late. Happy new moon. Okay, perfect. Dawn, good morning to you. Good to see you. So yeah, if you're new to the show, leave a comment. Even if you catch us later on the Facebook page, on my page here on Facebook, or over on YouTube, which we're streaming live. The latest video is Death is not extinction, death is extension. So today's show, we're talking about transformation is tough. It is. Transformation is a tough journey. So what I'm going to do is let me get queued up because we're going to do a meditation. And I'm going to put up something for you to look at. And if I did this correctly, again, lots of moving parts. What we're going to do is we're going to focus in on some qualities to help you. They're traits for high performers. This is something I came across a few years ago, and I'll share this on the screen here in just a second. And then I'll just take you through a quick meditation, quick breath work, and then we can get into some Q&A for a few minutes. Does that sound good to everybody? Okay. So let me cue this up here and get some links over into the Facebook page, but I need to open up my Facebook page because it ain't open. All right. So let's get an invite to the Zoom. Invite link. I want to do this before I share. So, get some coffee, get some tea real quick. Let's do a song to start us off with. Again, if you're new, make sure to subscribe or share because I'm looking for badges when you come into the Zoom room. If you don't have a badge, you probably won't get it. You'll probably stay in the waiting room, just so you know. Let's see, Intuitive Prospector page. So I'll put some links in the comment section. And again, if my administrators or moderators are on, if you can grab that link, or if anybody has questions, because again, I don't always see everything real time. Sometimes things are delayed, or sometimes I don't see them until after the show is over. So don't take it personally if I'm not responding to you. It's just because I'm probably not seeing it live as it's streaming through. Okay, so let's get over to all right. There we go. Intuitive Prospector page. And I'll start to just load those comments in. So, but again, if you ever wanted to work with me, or you want to get on my newsletter or my YouTube channel or all the different apps I'm through, Insight Timer, Wisdom, become a Patreon Prospector, Diamond Sub subscriber here on Facebook, just go right here and go up to the store subscribe section of that page, and that will take you to all the different things of how we can interact in 2024. All right, so it does say I'm live. It's kind of cool with Facebook because your profile picture lights up red that when you're live. So that's pretty cool. Let's bring this over to a bigger screen. How about that? It's hard to see everything on my small laptop screen. So I want to make sure to get that over there. Okay, so I'll put an emoji in, and then we're going to do this nice meditation and some things to help you with transformation that you might be in. And today's topic is transformation is tough. It is. It is tough. All right, that should be queuing up. Facebook is being a little slow. Must be that new moon energy, right, y'all? All right, so just look for the OK sign for me, like that. And that will be the Zoom link that I'll start to take some questions after the meditation, if you don't mind, please. So, came up twice. Let's delete that. Delete. Okay, so yeah, just look for the OK sign, and that's me. And then I'm going to also just put the YouTube channel because I've gotten it down to where I can actually do both at the same time on both my YouTube channel and Facebook channel. It's just a different show. So let's put that in there. Okay, here we go. All right, so if you'll indulge me, go ahead and just take a nice deep breath. Let's move back into the present moment. We're going to talk about some traits for high performers, things that you can work with to help you through the journey. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to scratch that, reverse it, little Willy Wonka. I'm going to put the things up, and I'm just going to play some music and let you kind of read through. But what I'm going to challenge you to do, because I don't want to interact with the music in my voice because the microphones cuts in and out from the last show, I was told. So I want you just to sit through and just take your hand and put it over your heart, put one hand on your belly, activate your temples if you want. You can give your temples a nice, these are called temples because in this temple, there's a temple of knowledge. And another thing you can do is if you want to activate your third eye, just give it a go. You may think this is bullshit, or you may think that, I deal with everything from full skepticism to full belief and everything in between, diagnostic. So I always say, if you want to open up your third eye and activate your third eye, just like with the human body, when we wake up, we stretch, right? It's getting harder to stretch. But one of the things you can do is activate your third eye. And how you do that is you take your thumb and your index finger, and you put your thumb on your chin and you touch your nose like this, right? So if I'm doing it from the side, and then just shift your thumb to your nose, and that's going to bring you right to your third eye, the brow chakra, the all-seeing eye, the things I teach on. We have 3 eyes in life, 2 to look, 1 to see, and just give it a nice circular motion in a clockwise way. And what this does, this gland goes into the brain, and this gland uses a lot of blood flow from the heart. So there's a purpose for it. It's also called the third eye because it's built like an eye. It has surrounded in liquid. It's also attacked by the body. So it's a very fascinating concept, and maybe I'll do a class here in 2024 on the pineal gland. But you just take your chin to your nose, up to your nose, and it'll take you right to your third eye and give your third eye an activation. And during this time, I'm going to play a song called Happiness by the Afro Sound Machine. And I'm going to also put up the 12 traits to help you with transformation. Because again, I think some of the things that helped me get through my transformation and all the experiences I've done up until this point of my life was breath work, was positive mantras, was positive mindset, mindfulness and awareness. Like Eckhart Tolle talks about, awareness is the greatest agent for change. And then also some of these traits that I do to be a high performer, whether it's in your job, your relationship, your own personal life, doing chores around the house, whatever that may be. And so while you're doing this, activate your third eye, taking a nice deep breath. And I always do this instead of taking it like an addict, like an IV, like a heroin addict. This is my breath work. This is the Sanskrit for breath. That's why I had it. That's why I now have it on my body, because it's a reminder to just breathe. Just like the Buddha, you got to let that shit go and just breathe. So when I pull this up and we play the music, go through these and say these to it. Don't even just read them. Say them out loud. Get that energy of intentions and manifestation brewing and going in your auric field. Because you remember, you're not just a physical body. You're a spiritual, energetic being that chose to incarnate to have a physical experience, which includes a lot of transformations, which are tough, but you're also got a lot to offer. And so when you say it out loud, that vibration, that energy, that ripple effect goes out. And what goes out, we know by the laws of science and physics, has to come back eventually at some point. So go ahead and take a deep breath. Let me queue up. Keep your questions coming, and then we'll do some live Q&A afterwards. Let's see here. Get my desktop. Make sure I have the right desktop. No, we don't want that one. There it is. Okay, share sound. I'm going to turn my video off, and we're going to move into some music. Make sure I'm sharing the screen right. You should be able to see that. It's showing good on my end. Just let me know if that's the case. I've got my iPhone in front of me here. If it's not streaming, but it does look like it is streaming okay. Yes. There we go. Okay, nice deep breath. Breathing in what you want. Exhaling what you don't. And we're going to talk about, or you're going to read about, and you're going to say out loud 12 traits for every high performer.
It's a mindset shift. Happiness is the key to success. Stardust in the building. Let's go! Oh, what a feeling! This happy, happy feeling.
Happy, 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 happy.
I can't explain. This happy, happy feeling.
Happy, happy, happy.
Oh, what a feeling!
What a feeling.
This happy, happy feeling.
Happy, 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 happy.
I can't explain.
I can't explain.
This
so that's Happiness by the Afro Sound Machine. And just a reminder of how to be a high performer and engage in life when you are going through transformation. And one of the things that I try to do on a daily basis is to have these carpe diem moments to remember, one, get shit done. It will, constantly get things done no matter what it is. Have self-awareness. Are you completely aware of your strengths and your weaknesses? That's very, very important in today's journey. Ruthless grit. I love this one. The ability to persist through any challenges that comes your way. And remember, the two mantras I go by is what we resist persists, and the lessons repeat until they complete. Number 4, wants to grow, looks to improve their skills and abilities for consistent growth. Again, my mantra is once growth stops, decay begins. Even with 50 plus years on the planet now, I still try to have that mindset. Show empathy. Treat everyone with respect and empathy, no matter what. I don't care if you're the CEO or the janitor. You're a human being, and I wish that was more relevant in our world today. And I'm experiencing this even right now with my transformation as I, retire from the federal service. Lack of kindness, lack of empathy, a lot of egotistical, narcissistic behavior that's just not who I am. But you don't have to reciprocate that back, right? It's like when people throw daggers at you, people throw rocks at you. Take those daggers, take those rocks, and build a motherfucking wall and stand upon that wall. Try not to move into revenge. If you're, and it's human nature. It's not easy, right? But it shows your evolution. It shows your higher consciousness, higher ability to think. And when you show empathy and gratitude, you can really change your energy. But again, when that stuff's coming at you, it's hard, right? Transformation is tough. But if you can take these tools, the tools that I teach on, the tools I share about and talk about, and put those into your life toolbox, your spiritual toolbox, or whatever toolbox you want to call it, kindness doesn't cost anything. You can always reciprocate back with different energy, because again, it's part of who you are and what you're giving out. Don't complain. Let changes get them down. Don't let the changes get you down easy. I used to be caught up in my first years of spiritual development. I used to be just so absorbed by what was going on in the world. And I had to be like, no, time out, observe it, don't absorb it. Number 7, be a strong communicator. Your words matter. Thoughts become words. Words become actions. Actions become behaviors. Behavior becomes your habits. Your habits become your destiny. So you can communicate ideas and concepts with all types of people, but just know, take it from an expert, take it from someone that's been doing this for a little bit now. You're going to get daggers. You're going to get rocks thrown at you based on they don't agree with you, their religious belief, their learned behaviors. I have experienced it all. But just like the scars of my eyes, the scars of the tissue, our skin is our largest organ. It gets stronger. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger, even though sometimes you feel like you're dying. Great at simplifying things. Less is more. I have found this to be so very true in my journey. Great at breaking complex things down into simple ways for everyone. When you try to do it all, it's like, remember my days in project management, they say, don't take on the whole elephant, because if you're holding the tail and somebody else is holding the trunk and somebody else is touching the center belly of the elephant, you all have the 3 different perspectives, but you're all touching the same animal, right? And don't try to take all of that on. Chunk it down. Take the trunk, take the stomach, take the tail, and break complex things down into simple ways. And it's going to alleviate your stress, or at least reduce it. It won't increase your self-sabotage, your anxiety. And it gives you control, which is number 9, control over your emotions. Good at dealing with stress and challenging and compartmentalizing. So a lot of times when people are like, I'm so worried about what's coming up in the future, but not guaranteed that future will deliver, that you'll get to that future point, right? So I always tell people, mark it on your calendar, stick it on your calendar, and when that day comes, then put your intention, put your energy in. And I'm pointing to my calendar because my calendar's right here. Do it then, but don't sit there and think about it, because all you're doing is wasting energy, and your nervous system, your adrenals, your auric field, those all are impacted. So control of your emotions are very, very important. Speak up. This part of my transformation is because I spoke up against things that I saw and didn't agree with, and report it. And don't just accept things that are not in alignment with your values, right? With their values. Speak up. Say something. They teach us, even when we're in the airport, see something, say something, right? we're moving towards a more mindful, awakened, conscious society, but there's going to always be people that want to, be outside those lines. So speak up, see something, say something, but again, should come from kindness and compassion and empathy. Manage your time well, because your time, believe it or not, your greatest commodity is not money. Money can make life easier and simpler, but time, because at the end of the day, it's not anything you get back. And time is your greatest commodity. So manage your time well. Self-organizing, self-managing. I really have, with my transformation that I'm going through as I move away from the federal government, is time management. Still getting up. I'm retired. I'm going to lay in bed all day. No, actually, it drives me to do even more things. So and enjoy being wrong. There's so many things in today's society that everybody just wants to be right. And it's like, no, embrace different viewpoints and ideas with genuine interest. That's very important. And it's okay to admit you're wrong. I teach myself and my students failure or fail, first attempt in learning. So challenge yourself to do something that scares you every day. Challenge yourself to fail on a constant basis, because it's all about learning. That's why you incarnated to come into the physical form. So these are just a few things that you can use for every high performer. Get shit done, self-awareness, ruthless gift, wants to grow, shows empathy, doesn't complain, strong communicator, great at simplifying, control over your emotions, speaks up, manages time well, and enjoys being wrong. So that's your message for today, because transformation, y'all, is tough. And there's going to be even more transformation coming. I hate to be the messenger or the medium of what I see coming, but there is more stuff, historical, transformative, chaotic, uncertain, violent at times, that's going to continue. And that's just the world. And so your best option is to move into the present moment. I use the Serenity Prayer or the Prayer of St. Francis Assisi to help me, because there's stuff I see out there and I'm just shaking my head like, seriously, the hypocrisy of it, the ignorance of it, the gaslighting of it, the cognitive dissonance of it. If you're not familiar with these terms, then you made this community today to learn what cognitive dissonance is, what is gaslighting, what is a narcissistic behavior, because there's a lot of it in our world. It's very competitive. So I hope that helps. I did put some links in the comment section if you want to become a Patreon prospector. Hello to all my patrons. I love you guys. And also a Diamond Hub subscriber. The Diamond Hub is just straight across on Facebook. It's $4.99, and you'll get in the community and you get a little bit more from me throughout the month. So $4.99, y'all, is not much. It's just less than literally a cup of coffee. How y'all like my new mug? This is my Kraken mug that I got at my last game. It's our goalie. He's from, you can't see it, but he's autographed on the inside here. His name's Grubauer. And so they were giving these out. And so I took my sister to her first Kraken game. And it was so great to see my sister and spend the week with her, just connecting. We hadn't connected since before the pandemic. She had been really, really sick and real struggle for her journey. And so it's so inspiring to see her emerge in a butterfly format to start living life again. And so we went to the Kraken game and they were giving out these mugs. And I thought for sure they were going to be plastic. Like, I didn't think they would actually be glass ceramic mugs, especially at a game, because you're like, can this be a weapon when they throw it on the ice? But everybody was good. There was no incidences, and they're really a nice mug. And so you can see it's the Seattle Kraken with the, isn't that a nice mug with the fish? It's our crest fish here, and the octopus, the Kraken here. And that's my newest coffee cup. But I had to get rid of 3 coffee cups for this one. My wife made the rules. I had too many coffee cups because I love coffee cups. I love t-shirts and I love coffee cups. And just remind you, if you like this t-shirt, go to marklainhart.com, hit the online store, and I can give you a 25% discount under my code to get shirts just like this that are fun, crazy, zany, make you feel alive. I love wearing t-shirts during my shows because it's just being in that childlike mindset, right? So let me see here. People throw rocks at things that shine. Yeah, they do. They really do. I've definitely been a part of my transformation is, when this started to happen with my transition out of the federal government and early retirement, I was like, why is this happening? And then my mantra became, it's not happening to me. It's happening for me, because my vibration has increased. My vibration has expanded. And when you expand, yeah, it's like a lighthouse in the storm. Things are going to be thrown at you. So great perspective on that, Karen. Hi, Kara. How are you? Super cool mug. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I was really surprised it was actually glass and not plastic. So, and then my sister got one too, so that was pretty cool. So, okay. So if you have any questions, go ahead and just throw them in. I'll open it up for a few minutes here. If you want to come into the Zoom room, the link is up above, or if one of my team members could grab that link, and if anybody wants to come in, you can come in and ask me a question. Just keep it kosher. Turn volume down if you come in. If you don't come in, you don't have to. That's fine. I've got more stuff to do on my day. I'm not sharing my screen, am I? Let's see here. Still coming up as sharing. Did I stop sharing? No. Oh, it must be. Okay, so it must be delayed. Okay, so I'm looking. I'm like, why is this still showing that? All right, Misty, good to see you. You have a beautiful weekend as well, my friend. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. If you want to, I'm looking for badges. So if you're a star sender, you'll go right to the top of the list. If you're a subscriber on my diamond sub, you'll go right to the top of the list. If you're a Patreon prospector, monthly prospector with me, you'll go right to the top of the list. So if you have a question, I can do a reading for you. I can do a card pull for you, whatever you're wanting. If you got a question about life, if you got a question about death, because I was talking about earlier over my YouTube channel, talking about death is not extinction, death is extension. And I didn't come to that conclusion overnight. It's through the lectures and the education and the traveling to different parts of the world to learn about death and dying and mediumship and psychic sciences and our energy and the laws of physics and the laws of science, and my own experiences watching loved ones and fur babies make their transition over to the other side, and continuing that relationship with them, even though in America we're really bad about that, where other cultures actually connect with their loved ones in a very profound, deep way. And so who knows, maybe America will change, who knows, it's hard to say. So other than that, I don't see any comments coming in. So I'm gonna probably then we got 3 minutes to 11 o'clock my time. So we've been on for about an hour. Victoria, hello, my friend. Thanks for being a top fan. I'd love a card of your choice for the week. Currently looking for direction in love, in family. Thank you in advance. You're welcome, Victoria. Thanks for being a subscriber and a fan of the work that I do. I'm going to give you a passage out of The Art of Living, because you said direction in love and family. And then I'm also going to pull one of my fun cards for you here. This is the acceptance card. So this, whatever's going on with love and family, move into acceptance. Yep, Carol, I'll get you a card here in just a sec. But Victoria, move into acceptance. The color green is all the matters of the heart. So we sometimes, again, transformation is tough. Sometimes we have to surrender, and sometimes we have to accept the things that we don't like, right? Because it's not our life, it's their lives, and that includes family. So acceptance based on the color of the heart color chakra. And then I'll just open up here to what's a good. So this is You're Enough. This is out of the great book I love, The Art of Living by Thich Nhat Hanh. And he says this: freedom is a practice and a habit. We have to train ourselves to walk as a free person, sit as a free person, and eat as a free person. We need to train ourselves how to live. So maybe, like the Buddha says, maybe you have to let some of that shit go and move into acceptance for what is, even though the ego is screaming, no, no, no. So move into observation versus observe versus absorb, if you will. So, all right. So Christina Lynn, you're on deck. Card, I'm gonna get you a card, my friend. What's a good card for you? Where am I drawn to? Let's go Rumi for you, my friend. Let me go to the Rumi deck. I heard Rumi. So this is the card that I pulled. It's cool. It's kind of that spiral, right? And it's funny because one of my previous shows on YouTube, I talked about that time is not linear. Time is a flat circle. And that's what the flat circle looks like of time, right? The spiral. In spiritualism, it's funny because we're watching a new series, True Detective, and this symbol, they're up in Alaska, this symbol of the spiral keeps coming up. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. There's definitely a spiritual concept. But for you, Kara, this says, and I don't know why you don't have your badge. I know that you follow all the work. So make sure to display your badge. If you get notification that you've received a fan badge or whatever that may be, make sure to display it, because that's what I'm really looking for. Like if you look down at Christina Lynn's, she has the heart, right? That's the badge. So really trying to get people engaged with the community and the page. It just helps me to, see. But I know who you are. But this is what it says. I surge on the uprising wave of love. And with Valentine's Day just around the corner, the day of love, that's interesting. I was let's see here. Oh my goodness, I can't even see it. The words are so small. Don't judge, glasses, I know. I was raw, I was cooked, and I was burned. You are going through a cycle moved by forces stronger than your will. This is a karmic period. So again, this is a karmic period. Again, I don't believe karma good, bad. I think karma just is, and we experience that based on life. Learn it from experience. That's what life is, and fail, first attempt in learning. But it says this is a karmic period with grander cycles affecting smaller ones, with grander cycles affecting smaller ones. The smaller ones are not less important, but they do have to bow to the power of the great. Surrender to oneness with the magnificent unfolding divinity that is life itself. That is life itself. Pretty cool card, eh? That's from the words of the Rumi deck. So if you don't know who Rumi is, Rumi was a 12th century mystic and poet from the area of the world, which would be Pakistan, Iraq, Iran. And I love the teachings of Rumi. So you're welcome, Victoria. Have a great rest of your weekend. Love to you as well. Happy Valentine's Day. All right, Christina, what's going on? An oracle card. Okay. Where is my oracle deck? There it is. I've got like 14 different decks, y'all, so you got to be patient with me. So Christina Lynn, let's go to an oracle deck for you. And I'll also give you, because you're one of my Patreon prospectors, I'll give you a reading from the Art of Living as well as a bonus. So I give bonuses to my Diamond Sub subscribers and my Patreon prospectors because I love you guys. And happy Valentine's Day to you, Christina. Lynn, this is the Helpless and Hopeless card. Now, this is interesting because there's a choice you're going to have to make based on this card. So this is from my Oracle deck. It's the number 8, right? So the 8 turned sideways becomes infinity. I've got it very similar because I'm a life path 8, right? So pay attention to the 8 symbology, the signs, the symbols, the synergy, the synchronicities, because I believe in the pattern. If you pay attention to the language, the pattern of communications, the 8s will probably come up here to help you with your decision. And they usually come up 3 times is what I found, but it's helpless and hopeless. So whatever is behind you in this card, we don't get to see what's behind you, but ahead of you is a great sunrise and or sunset. So something may be beginning, something may be ending, but you have to choose what pathway, what staircase that you want to choose to go on. But it's a bright card. It's about manifesting now. It's about abundance. The 8 is all about abundance and manifesting, if you will. So does that make sense, Christine Lynn? So I'm waiting for a response on that. Let's go to The Art of Living by one of my favorites, Buddhist monks, Thich Nhat Hanh. And let's give you a quote. All right, so this is from the chapter of Transforming Suffering. It says this: peace, freedom, and happiness can be found right here in this very life, if only we can learn the art of handling our suffering. So when we handle our suffering, and I know this to be very true, it's about thankfulness that this robotic body that we chose to incarnate and have daily interactions, and then we plug in when we go to sleep, and then we unplug and we do our stuff, right? And we get all sorts of stuff thrown at us. It's about giving thanks to having a body and a mind and being alive. We have an opportunity to heal and transform our suffering. So a lot of times we carry our suffering with us through grief, through loss, and we don't heal ourselves. We don't transform ourselves. And I know this because I've done a lot of work over the years, starting all the way back when I started in my federal service years back in the Coast Guard. My first session was 8 session. There's the 8 again. 8 sessions of biofeedback, and I'm like, come on, is this real? Go to your happy place, think good thoughts. And I was like, wow, that's after it was all said and done, I was like, oh, there's something to it. So from biofeedback to grieving counseling to hypnotherapy to nature, to plant medicines to meditations to learning from different people that have suffered greatly. So when you embrace your suffering and you have the art of handling your suffering and letting your suffering go, whatever we can do to heal and transform ourselves and contributing to a more beautiful, continuous body, not only for us, but for our ancestors. So do it for your ancestors. Do it for your loved ones that have made their transition over to the other side. So that is a special bonus because she is one of my Patreon prospectors. And she said, yes, the card does make sense. You are very welcome, my friend. And Cara says, I don't know where the badge went. Yeah, just share out the page. Make sure you're subscribed to it. Sometimes it's just Facebook algorithms, right? It'll be interesting to watch the transformation of social media over the next 2 years as we bring in more quantum computing, AI. So it'll be interesting. So, all right. Any other questions? Last call for alcohol. No, last call for. Again, if I missed your comment, this is where you can put in bump, put a little star, bump, and then you ask your question again. Because again, there can be on some shows we get a lot of comments, and I can't see them all scrolling up. So if I missed you, again, please don't take it personally. My apologies. I don't always see the comments in real time. I try to do my best to keep up with everything. Again, if you want to work with me, I am Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector. You can visit me right here at marclainhart.com. There's some links in the field. I didn't see anybody come in the Zoom room. If I missed it, I don't think I did, but for Q&A. But go back to those traits that we talked about today. Go back and watch the replay of this video if you want. This video will be loaded at YouTube next week. So thanks again. I'm very honored and I'm very humbled by the YouTube channel explosion, because literally just 2 weeks ago I was like, hey, help me to get to 500 subscribers, because you get to unlock more things as a content creator when you have a bigger following, whether it's on TikTok, which I'm almost at 8,000 followers, which is awesome. Thank you so much. And then all of a sudden I went to YouTube one day. I was like, what the shit, what happened? And it literally went from less than 500. I was like at 493, and now we're hitting almost 2,000. So I'm like, okay, universe, are you talking to me? Is this part of my transformation as I transition out of the federal government since the age of 23 into my next journey of whatever this butterfly is going to be? But just remember, breath, mindfulness, be in the present moment, practice the pause, take the time to disconnect so you can make the time to reconnect, and just celebrate life. Carpe diem, because that's all you have is today. And transformation is tough. Transformation is truth, but transformation can also be tranquil if you allow it to be. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I will be here next Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the Intuitive Prospector page for another Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live. And again, if you want to work with me in any time between now and then or in 2024, just go to marclainhart.com and we can do a little bit of prospecting. So as I like to say, until our next soul adventure together, hi Noreen, until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate, and most importantly, wherever you're at in the world and whatever's going on in your life, and if that transformation is tough for you, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and I hope that you'll discover that diamond within. All right, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time here for Metaphysical Meetup with Marc. Namaste.
Grateful for all the things I've seen. Grateful for all the Lord's blessing. Ain't gonna stop, no, ain't no how. Grateful, yeah, I'm grateful. Grateful, yeah, I'm grateful. Oh Lord. Grateful, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I ain't got no reason to be hateful. Hair and nails paid for. I'm so thankful. Put you through some things I know that was quite painful. Grateful, yeah, I'm grateful.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the intuitive prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.